Bhagavad-gītā As It Is. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Let us offer our most humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Vyasadeva, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Kṛṣṇa, and at the lotus feet of Sri Arjuna. Let us also offer our most humble respects to the book Sri Bhagavad-gītā As It Is, and at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. May they bless us so that we are able to receive and retain these wonderful instructions Krishna has given to Arjuna, actually meant for us. So we are reading from Bhagavad-gītā As It Is, chapter 11, text 35. Sañjaya uvāca
Sañjaya uvāca.
etac
Etac
chrutvā
śrutvā
vacanam
vacanam.
keśavasya
Keśavasya.
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya
Etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya.
kṛtāñjalir
kṛtāñjalir.
vepamānaḥ
vepamānaḥ.
kirītī
kirītī.
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī.
namaskṛtvā
namaskṛtvā.
bhūya
bhūya
evāha
evāha.
kṛṣṇam
kṛṣṇam.
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam.
sa-gadgadam
sa-gadgadam.
bhīta-bhītaḥ
bhīta-bhītaḥ.
praṇamya
praṇamya.
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamyam
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya.
Sañjaya uvāca ram.
Sañjaya uvāca.
Etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya.
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī.
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam.
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya.
Sañjaya uvāca
Sañjaya uvāca.
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya.
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī.
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam.
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya
sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya.
Sañjaya uvāca
Sañjaya uvāca.
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya
etat śrutvā vacanam keśavasya.
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī.
kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī.
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam.
namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam.
sa-gadgadaṁ bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya.
sa-gadgadaṁ bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya.
Read please.
Synonyms. Sañjaya uvāca. Sañjaya said, etat, śrutvā, hearing, vacanam, the speech, keśavasya, of Kṛṣṇa, kṛtāñjalir, with folded hands, vepamānaḥ, trembling, kirītī, Arjuna, namaskṛtvā, offering obeisances, bhūya, bhūyaḥ, again, evāha, also, evāha, said, kṛṣṇam, unto Kṛṣṇa, sa-gadgadaṁ, with a faltering voice, bhīta-bhītaḥ, fearful, praṇamya, offering obeisances. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sañjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Kṛṣṇa in a faltering voice as follows. Purport. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Kṛṣṇa again and again, and with faltering voice he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder.
Sañjaya uvāca etac śrutvā vacanam keśavasya kṛtāñjalir vepamānaḥ kirītī namaskṛtvā bhūya evāha kṛṣṇam sa-gadgadam bhīta-bhītaḥ praṇamya. Sañjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisance with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Kṛṣṇa in a faltering voice as follows. So, even a great hero, warrior, and brave, indefeatable Arjuna was trembling out of fear. Bhīta-bhītaḥ. Now, why was Arjuna trembling? After all, the warriors, these great fighters, there is a practice they have to daily perform. How to leave the body. That is within one of the practices. Yoga practice. See, all the Kshatriyas, both men and women, they, from the very childhood, they learn how to leave the body. And therefore they have no fear of death. So here, vepamānaḥ, trembling, bhīta-bhītaḥ, fearful of what? Certainly not fearful of death, like most of us. The greatest fear that everyone suffers in the material world is death. But Arjuna was not afraid to die. having been raised in the premises of a royal palace, the premises of a royal palace, where everything is reminded one of war, strategy, fight, diplomacy. These are common things. So naturally, the tendencies and the world view of a Kshatriya is quite different. They don't consider violence to be rejected, never. They consider how to apply violence in the right circumstance, but they will never reject violence, because violence is an absolute necessity in material life. People with less fund of knowledge, they think that peace, certainly peace, is very much desirable. However, by reading the Shastras, the scriptures, these great Kshatriya kings and the royal family, they understand that peace is found within oneself. Peace is never found in Prakriti. For the very simple reason that it is so, because the most influential of the three modes of nature, Tama is the strongest. Tamagun. Tama is for destruction, Raja is your creation, and maintenance is Sattva. And the material world is in a constant state of flux. Constant state of flux. There's never a single moment where destruction is not taking place. And not that destruction is not taking place far away from you, it's very near to you. Your own body is being constantly destroyed. To think that my body is eternal, sheer foolishness. So the destructive factor is a reality and truth, although temporary, but nevertheless, is the reality separated from illusion and the truth separated from falsehood. Constant, the process of destruction never stops. From the time this material world, before creation, before Lord Brahma begins to create, the pradhan, which is the unmanifest Mahat Tattva, creation, pradhan, Pradhan is the desire of the Lord to create. That's Pradhan. And this desire takes the form of an energy cloud, like a cloud. And by the glance of Mahavishnu, what is that glance? Kala. Kala is time factor. Time factor is the destructive element. And by the infusion of Kala into Pradhan, everything becomes active. It is the Lord's Kala energy that gives the energy to be active. That's the energy. So destruction is there from the very beginning. Death is there from the very beginning. Death is there because at every single moment, the smallest of creatures created by the Lord is dying. Death is at every moment. Or rather, there's never been a time within the creation that death has not taken place. So Arjuna was not afraid of death. But yet he was fearful of what? He was fearful of the fact that he might have committed some offense to the Lord. By being his friend, it's like Srila Prabhupada in his purport at the end, he's saying that Kṛṣṇa was not speaking to him. Kṛṣṇa again, obeisance to Kṛṣṇa again. And with faltering voice he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. He was wonder-struck. What is this? The personality I considered my friend, bosom friend, sharing so many very confidential matters. He opened his heart, I opened mine. And now what do I see? He could not quite grasp the situation, could not gauge the situation. On one hand, such intimacy, at every level, intimacy, intimate interaction, sleeping together in the same room, eating together on the same table, going on walks, all kinds of activities, performing together. 24 hours they were spending together sometimes. And yet, a pure devotee and the Lord is never finding enough time. Still, so the fear, he fearfully spoke to Lord Kṛṣṇa. So what did he speak to Lord Kṛṣṇa? That is the next verse, of course, but we can simply have an idea. Arjuna said, "O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is lightly done." So, however, we have to always come back to the point to solve this mystery. A hero has absolutely no consideration for his death. Is ever ready to accept any challenge. That's a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya cannot refuse a challenge. And yet, after all this shaking, vepathu, gadgadam, voice faltering, because the friendship that they shared covered up the Lord's actual potency and majesty. The Lord's potency is immeasurable. His majesty is immeasurable. So Arjuna was thinking, I know only this little bit of Kṛṣṇa. I never knew the other side of Kṛṣṇa. So did I commit any offense by not taking into account this other aspect of Kṛṣṇa, far, far beyond what I could ever imagine? Is the Lord angry with me? All these thoughts concourse to his mind. And sometimes he was thinking, oh, because I might have committed some offense. I might have taken my friendship too lightly for granted, not exhibiting and offering proper respect. It has all to do with a devotee is fearful only when concerned with devotion and devotional service. Nothing other is cause of fear to him. Nothing else. Because the devotee is ready at any time to relinquish his body, not particularly attached to his body, not particularly. Because attachment to body leads to illusion, he knows that, so he doesn't make this mistake. Devotees never make the mistake. So, that could not be the case with Arjuna, fully surrendered soul. Right in the beginning, he has told Kṛṣṇa that, my Lord, I am offering myself at your lotus feet. What did he say? Sadhimam tvam prapannam. Prapannam means surrender. That's in the beginning, the second chapter. Otherwise, Kṛṣṇa would not have given him the instructions if Arjuna didn't accept Krishna's authority. Shishyastu aham sadhimam tvam prapannam. That's what Arjuna said right in the beginning. Otherwise, Krishna would not have given him these instructions. Arjuna knew that. Because Krishna is not like that. He never forces anyone. Never forces anyone. So he was, Arjuna, he had already taken the proper position. He had taken the position of a disciple. He had taken the proper attitude of submission. And yet, this was most unexpected. What he saw in the universal form. And the fact that there could be much, much more than what Krishna has revealed. If Krishna has revealed this, what I have never seen, this is unprecedented, I've never seen this. So even in our most intimate friendship, I've never been able to see this side of Krishna. Unprecedented. So there must be much more. Krishna is unlimited. Just the very thought of the Lord's power, prowess, and majesty made Arjuna tremble. Actually, a devotee is not at all very much impressed by the Lord's majesty. They are not impressed. Yashodamai will not hesitate to chastise him. Even Krishna's, Nanda Baba's servants, Raktak, Rektak, Chitrak, they don't also hesitate. They, in sweet ways, they chastise after taking a bath. Krishna has to wear his clothes. But he's playful, he's doing this after all, a child. 5-year-old, 4-year-old child. What do you expect? So then one of the servants said, Krishna, you can't waste your time like this. They're all waiting. So hurry up. Like that. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna is thinking. I have even sometimes corrected Krishna. Krishna, don't sleep like that. Krishna, don't go there. Krishna, this is not the right time. Because you see, in friendship, there's no hierarchy. And there's no awe and respect. Respect is there, but this is not respect mixed with awe. The mutual respect is always there. But a friend is not in awe of another friend, then there's no friendship. So the element of awe was always missing in their relationship. And yet now, after seeing the universal form of the Lord, Arjuna could not deny the fact that the Lord, the Supreme Lord, was certainly a repository of unlimited prowess, unlimited power, strength, which are all awe-inspiring. Awe-inspiring. And with that thought, that maybe I have transgressed the etiquette, being an intimate friend of Kṛṣṇa. Although Kṛṣṇa was encouraging this kind of friendship, and he reciprocated that kind of friendship, and yet, how can I deny what I have seen now? How can I ignore what I have seen? So today is the question-answer session, and it begins now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My question is that Arjuna was in this apprehension that he might have committed some offenses against Kṛṣṇa. Did he ever commit that?
In friendship, there's no such committing of offenses, unless, of course, it is something really heinous. But amongst friends, there's chastisement. And one friend can chastise, hey, why are you doing that? But that cannot be taken as an offense on the basis of the rasa. Each rasa, each and every single rasa, has this. You will not find Yashoda Mai or Nanda Maharaj offering obeisances to Kṛṣṇa. So it depends on the rasa. In Sakya Ras, the highest is praṇamya. In the like prema is the very foundation. Prema is the foundation. When bhav becomes completely mature and steadfast and attains thayi bhav, then the rasa manifests. Rasa, whatever, depending on the relationship. And on that basis, relationship and exchanges are made. The friends will start ridiculing Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa. See, they had a competition. This is from the eating the earth, Leela. All the sakhas, they challenged each other. Who can make the nicest and the fastest fort with the sand? So everybody finished. And Kṛṣṇa tried as much as he can, but each time he built a little bit, it crumbled. Built it, crumbled. Built it, crumbled. He never could get it together. So all his friends were laughing at him. Kṛṣṇa, you can't even build this. What is this? And like that, they were ridiculing him. So Kṛṣṇa got angry with the earth. He said, I am trying so much to make a nice building with you, and each time you crumble, each time you betray me, I'll eat you up. Began to eat. Like that, in Vrindavan, there's no such thing as offense to Kṛṣṇa. Because as soon as one develops prema, all offenses are completely absolved. There are no more offenses. So therefore, the eligibility to enter into Golok Vrindavan is that that particular soul is completely free and liberated from all kinds of offenses. No offenses. And then, so therefore, depending on the relationship and rasa, there are certain exchanges. Yes?
Yeah, one more question I have, that as we know, that Kṛṣṇa is the master of everything, but it is very often mentioned that he is a master of senses. So what is the significance of this particular statement?
Particular statement is that Kṛṣṇa is actually in control of our body. We think that we are controlling our body, but we cannot control our body. If we could control our body, we would never become old. We would never become sick. So Kṛṣṇa is the controller. Ishvara sarva bhūtānaṁ hriddesha Arjuna tishtati bhramayam sarva bhūtāni yantra rudhani mayaya. This yantra means instrument, tool, construct. And this yantra refers to the body. I, sitting in the heart of everyone, control the movements of everyone. Yantra rudhani mayaya. My Maya energy is directing all movements of this body. So, what is the essence of this body? The most essential feature of this body are the senses. Senses are the most essential features of the body. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa is the controller of our senses. He is controlling through the agency of Mahamaya. And Mahamaya is controlling through the agency of the three modes of material nature.
Well, if Kṛṣṇa is controlling our senses, which is, of course, he is, I just cannot understand how we allow our senses to drift and do certain things which we should not be doing.
So by the influence of the modes of material nature, this is happening. We have a free will, so we can within a certain framework, within certain limitations, we can direct the body. But who directs the body? The mind. So who directs the mind? The three modes of material nature directs the mind.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Haribol.
Haribol, Dhanavad. I want to ask about Gopal Guru Goswami's explanations about the Vaha mantra.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, it says, "Enjoy with me." Could you explain this, please?
Well, that is a request from the pure devotee or the devotee at all to include him or her in the pastimes of the Lord. All the prior to this last one, Hare, the last Hare, all the other explanations did not make this request. For example, in the second line, Hare, O Radharani, please make me eligible to serve you. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, O Radharani, you're so dear to Hari or Krishna. You're giving pleasure to him, Ram, and Ram is giving pleasure to you. And then after that, again, the second said, Hare, is that when will I hear you speaking about your beloved Ram? And then Hare, this last, that one Hare, is saying, when will I see you in your pastimes with your beloved? And then finally, when will I be allowed to participate in your pastimes? So, oh Lord, kindly enjoy with me, because only on your invitation can I be allowed at all to enjoy. So actually what the devotee is praying is to receive the invitation from Krishna to participate in his pastimes.
And what is your recommendation regarding these explanations? Should we meditate on all of them, or first on our level, perhaps only the first half of it, because the other seems very esoteric?
Yes, doesn't matter. If usually we don't know what underlying tendencies are there, not everyone, very few, have brought from their past life certain tendencies which have developed to their their own sadhana in their past life have brought them to a particular level, and they had to die or something happened, and it will be continued in this life. So very few will be attracted to these meanings. And for us, we don't know. So if we are automatically attracted to one or the other, then we should remain with that. We don't have to force ourselves, but we can always think about it in the sense that we are chanting. So chanting with meaning makes sense. However, we may not be meditating on these aspects of the holy name, but nevertheless, these aspects belong to the holy name. It's a part of the holy name. So therefore, if one does not remember or meditate, it doesn't matter. But if sometimes one thinks of that, then one can think. No problem. No offense there.
Thank you, Gurudev. And I want to ask about a statement of Sridhar Maharaj. He says that reality is subjective. It is based on consciousness. And I want to ask what this exactly means, that reality is subjective. Does it mean that the source of reality is the subject, or that the perception of reality in every jiva is individual, means subjective?
Yes. That is true. The second
one.
Yes.
But at the same time, the jiva actually is the object. If we see it in this, for example, the knower, the knowledge, and the knowledgeable, I think, is the third.
Yes, knowledge itself.
Yes. So in this trinity, I say there the jiva is the object, isn't it?
The knower.
Yes.
Yes, he is the knower. So knower is subjective. You see, subjective. Yeah. Subject. When you say subject, it does not mean the topic or the theme on which. You understand? Sometimes the word subject means the theme, the topic. On what subject are you going to speak? Like that.
Yes.
But here, subject is coming from the word subjective, which is personal.
Yes, I understand. Thank you, Gurudev. And I also have a question on a statement by Bhaktisiddhanta. He explained Trinadapi Sunichena and had an interesting explanation about the egotism. So he's saying, he's translating it, becoming devoid of all types of mundane pride, considering oneself lower than an insignificant blade of grass in this world, developing the quality of tolerance like a tree, and freeing oneself from all types of mundane egotism, but giving respect to the mundane egotism of others. The jiva should incessantly sing the name of Kṛṣṇa. So this, how do I respect the egotism of others? How is the attitude?
What it means is that you accept that person as he is. That in itself is respecting the egotism. You don't make conditions before you accept him. I will accept you only when you are like this. I will respect you only when you are like this. I respect persons who are like this. I don't respect persons who are like. So these are known as, these are the conditionings. So I accept the person's ego, wherever the ego is, wherever he is. I'm accepting and offering respect. My respect doesn't depend on any demands or any prerequisite. So if the person is egoistic, then so be it. Let him be egoistic. But my philosophy is that I will respect any and everyone. That is my philosophy. Whether he's egoistic or he's not egoistic. However, having said that, I shall still act according to the every person's situation and level. I'm not going to show respect to an egoistic, materialistic person in the same way that I offer my respects to a devotee of the Lord. So, accepting that person's ego. I'm sure When I'm showing respect, I'm showing respect to his ego also, isn't it? He's not separated from his ego.
Yes. Thank you, Gurudev.
So when Krishna so desires, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada blesses us, we shall get to hear Harikatha very soon. Maybe and there'll be a kirtan before that, before the Harikatha, that will be in half an hour or so. So I thank all of you for your patient hearing. Let us once again offer our most humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Dvaipayan, Srila Vasudev, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Kṛṣṇa, and at the lotus feet of his pure devotee and associate, Sri Arjuna, and to the book, Sri Bhagavad-gītā As It Is, and also offer the most humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.